Hello everyone, my name is Laura Stranks and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Brisbane, Queensland, Australia. I'll just go through a couple of my things here this morning before I start my little card. I've been living in Brisbane all my life, so nothing new there. I've got a Facebook page called Cards by Laura. In there you can follow along with the cards that I've made at my workshops and classes, and all the any cards that I ever make are all in that Facebook page, so you can follow along with that. I've got a large Facebook group called Laura's Craft Room Tips and Tutorials. In there are the PDFs for these cards that I make on my YouTube channel, and also I do lives on a Saturday morning, so all the PDFs are in the Files tab in that group. The lives I do on a Saturday, they are pinned to the Featured tab, but they will only stay there for 30 days as per Facebook changing a few things recently. After 30 days my live videos drop off, but I do upload them to YouTube after I'm finished, so you can always hop over onto my channel and watch them there. The channel, if you're watching today, is called Creative Gems, and if you haven't already subscribed, I'd love you to do so. Costs nothing to subscribe to any YouTube channel, and if you do subscribe, there's a little button, a little bell there when you go through, and if you hit that little bell it will notify you when my videos are there to watch. So with all that done, we shall get started with the card for today. Very short intro. This is the card we're doing, and it's called a drop down double flap gatefold. I did a drop down gatefold a while ago. This one is a double flap one as well, so it's a little bit different. This is the one I've designed. All of this paper has retired, so you can't get it. I'm not sure if it's still on the last chance products list or not, but these dies are new, but the paper itself has retired. So that's how the card works. You've got a little panel up here to put your greeting. Closes up there. You can decorate that as much as you like. I kept the background quite subtle with that. And then when you close it up, you've still got these panels on the side here to decorate the front. I didn't put anything on that because you've got your belly band here. This belly band I made a tiny bit tight, but I can get it on if I do it from the bottom. So just be aware when you do a belly band to not make it too tight. And that's how it sits. So I shall put that aside, and as usual I've got all my measurements here and I'll go through with you. I'm doing a different colour today and different paper. This is all a new paper, new stamp sets, all new that we're getting. It's on the pre-order list at the moment, so once I think it's the 5th of May, we can go on to the new catalogue and order from there, anything out of the catalogue. So I'll just go through the pieces with you. My main base is 11 inches by 5 7/8. That's that piece there. I have scored it, but I will go through the scoring in a minute. So all the scoring measurements and the instructions, written instructions, are on the PDF, which, as I mentioned before, is in my Laura's Craft Room Tips and Tutorials group in the Files tab in there. So that's that piece. And then we've got an insert piece, which is the same colour. It measures 6 3/8 by 4 1/4. Now, when I did the 4 1/4 across this way, down this edge, I took a smidge off because this is going to sit in between. I have scored it, but I'll show you in a minute with the scoring. It's going to sit in between those two score lines. I've got a 1/2 inch tab here that I've scored, which holds it in there. But I took the smidge off because I felt when this folded in, I'll show you from this one, when it folded in it was a little bit tight, so I took a smidge off, so you can just see the panel under there where it's joined in, and so it would fold across here, across this way. I took a smidge off that insert piece, so it folded a little bit better. So a smidge is like not even a 1/16, just a fine slither. The mats, we'll leave that aside. In coordinating colours, which are, I've got here, I'm going to get a highlighter and just highlight as I go so I don't miss any pieces, because usually I get a bit lost on my measurements and what I'm up to. So we'll just highlight these. So we've done that and that. 5 5/8 by 1 inch, which is these here. I've done crushed curry because the paper, I'll show you the paper after. These are 2 of 5 5/8 by 1 inch. That's that one there, and we'll come back to that. And then we've got 5 5/8 by 1 7/8, which is 2 of there. 5 5/8 by 4 inches, and there's 3. There might only be 2 of these. I'll just adjust that if it's not. 1, 2. 5 5/8 by 4. 1, 2. And there's none on the front. So it's only 2 of those you need. 1 in there and 1 on top. I don't know why I put 3. That should be 2 of there. So we'll fix that before I do the PDF. So there's 1, 2 of those. That's that one. And 3 7/8 by 3 1/2. That's my mat. Now I have, that's the maximum size you needed. I have cut it out and I'll show you the dies that I used. It's got a nice border pattern. It's from the Textured Notes dies. I'll get to that one in a sec. And then the writing panel that goes on that, I've just stamped a little flower at the bottom. That's 4 3/8 by 2 7/8. That's the basic white. And the DSP, we'll go back to these. I've already adhered them down. 5 5/8. Now there's 2 designs here. I've called my flowery pattern as design 1. So these are 5 5/8 by, oh, we've got 2 more somewhere over here, I think. Oh no, not over there. Which one's 5 5/8 by 1 7/8? There should be 2 more, and I think I put them back in the pack. We'll come back to that one. These are 5 3/8 by 1 5/8. That's those 2. I'll come back to the others in a sec. Design 2, I've used this green one here. This one here, which goes on these, 5 3/8 by 3/4, and you need 2 of those. And that's that one. And then 5 3/8 by 3 3/4, there's 2 of those. And I've already, oh, that's the birthday greeting I'm going to put on it. And I shall just go to my pack of paper, because I think those other 2, design 1, which would be the flowery one, I think I might have popped them back in here. If not, I will cut them. This is the paper. There's one. I've even cut the other one up. I shall get another piece and we shall cut one. I think I've got another piece in here, hopefully. Excuse me while I find it. Yes, there. I'll just cut another one of those. I might have cut it up for something else. So I'll just measure this one. Make sure it's the 5 5/8 by 1 7/8, and I'll show you. Yeah, that's one of them. And we'll cut another one. 5 5/8. We'll go the 1 7/8 first. 1 7/8. I did cut 2, but I may have cut one up for probably the belly band or something. 5 and, where was my measurements? 5 5/8 by 1 7/8. Yes, I did that. 1 7/8, 5 5/8. I'll show you where they go. These 2 don't have mats. No, that's not right. 1 7/8. Excuse me. Those 2. I'll just double check. They're these ones that go down here. So that one's correct. And that one is a bit short, so we shall go, I think it should be 1 7/8. excuse me while I get this correct. 5 and 5/8. 5 and 5/8. Not that piece. I'm getting all over the place here. 5 and 5/8 by 1 and 7/8. 5 and 5/8 by 1 and 7/8. And that is in there. So we shall do 2 like that. And here we found, after all that, I have found the original, would you believe? These are the ones I did cut. I can't believe they're upside down there with the pattern up the wrong way. 5 and 5/8 by 1 and 7/8, 2 of. I sometimes wonder what I'm doing myself. So that's those 2. We didn't need to cut that, but we'll use it on another one anyway. We've done those 2, and we've done those 2, and then we've got the belly band. 10 and a half by 1 and a quarter. So that's that one there. You could go the length of your A4 cardstock and keep it at that, but I felt it was a little bit long, so I've put it down at 10 and a half. The mat for the belly band, which is the crushed curry, it's 4 by 1. The green in this is garden green. I've seemed to be using it a lot lately. It's in a lot of the patterns. The DSP on that one is 3 3/4 by 3/4, which is design 1. And then I've got some scrap cardstock for my greeting and my decorations. So now we're all good. We shall get started. If you need to take a screenshot of that, but these measurements will be in the description box of this video. Or you can join my craft room tips, a request to join my craft room tips and tutorials. If you do request to join that big group, there is 2 questions you need to answer. One is why you wish to join the group, and the other is that you agree to the rules. So just be sure that you answer 2 questions before you request, because you will be rejected. And I'll send you back a little notification to say that you didn't answer the questions. Just try going onto a different device. If you're on your phone, try your iPad or PC and to find the questions. But all the full tutorial will be in that group, in the Files tab. Now, the paper, as I showed you another sheet, this is it here. It's called Floral Impressions. It's an online exclusive on pre-order at the moment, so we can only get a couple of packs at the moment until it goes live. Very pretty paper, and most of it is directional, so you need to watch your direction. The backs of the papers are not. That one's not. I've used that one a fair bit, but most of these are directional. I love that one with the green leaves, and that one. So very pretty papers. That's the paper I'm using today. And stamp sets. I've got a little hello to put on the front on my belly band. That's that one there. The frame ones that I cut out, these 2 here, that's from the textured notes frames, which are in here. I've got one that I'm using outside at my workshop. I've got a workshop on Sunday, so it'll be out there. These are the flowers. I've cut quite a few little flowers to put on as a decoration, and some leaves. They're all in that set there. It's a new set. This one here that I've got the tape on, it's so tiny. I don't know if you can see that. The little bit in the middle, I bet my bottom dollar I lose it before it goes too far. I've taped it together so at least it's sort of a bit more stable, but this one here is not so bad. It's a bit bigger, but that one's very tiny. And then the happy birthday I'm putting inside is a new stamp set in the new annual catalogue. It's called Layered Thoughts, and there's some nice big greetings in that. So that's all of those pieces. We shall leave that aside. We'll do this bit of scoring first. I'll just get my measurements so I don't tell you the wrong thing. on the longs with the long side at the top, you're going to go 1 1/4, which is there. Move your cutter out of the road, and then 3 3/8. So that was 3 3/8, which is there. And usually when I do a long piece like this, rather than going all the way across, I rotate it because it's the same measurements on each side. So you want 1 1/4 again, and 3 3/8, which is over there. I find that you get a better, it's equal. When you go across, you've only got to be a fraction out, and it doesn't line up as well. So I will do that other piece as well. I always do it that way. I do both sides and rotate. And then this piece here, your long side at the top again, this is your insert piece, and it's getting scored just at 1/2 inch on one of the long sides. So you've got your long side at the top and you're scoring down that short side, and that will give you the tab. And that's the piece that I took the little smidge off. So you can fold and burnish that. Just get my bone folder out like that. And then this one here, we're going to fold these two inwards. The two inner score lines will go inwards and into valley folds like that, and the two outer score lines will come backwards into mountain folds like so, and that gives you your gatefold like that, double flap gatefold. Normally a gatefold is just one piece coming across to the center, but that's a double gatefold. And this is the drop down piece. Now with this piece, and I'm going to use, I think I used tear and tape the other day. I'll stick with tear and tape only because sometimes the liquid glue is not strong enough. I'll put a strip of tear and tape. Most of this, there's no thinking on this card. You just have to, once you get your insert piece in, it's just a matter of where you put your panels and what colours. The hardest part was choosing colours and paper. So this piece here, it's going to go with this flap facing downwards. So you've got it there like that, and that's going to flap down under, and it's going to line up with the top edge of that. I'm just double checking if I put that right there that it doesn't hang over the bottom. If it does, you will need to, before you stick it down, just test it like that before you put it down. If you've got an overhang down here, just trim it off before you stick it down. You could do it after because you can flap it back that way, but mine should be okay because I've cut it hopefully correctly. I'll just look into my pick tool. I've got a fingernail there that's broken, but I've got an appointment tomorrow to get it fixed. They're my own nails, and the lady told me last time, if you have a broken nail, try and hold on to it as long as possible and get it, get some, what do you call it, acrylic over the top. Once before I broke my nail and I threw the broken bit, and then they had to put a whole tip on, which it's not as good. So she said, try and keep your original nail, and I've got my appointment tomorrow, so she's going to put some acrylic on it. So that is not worth even looking at, the tiny little bit that's down there. But as you can see, this folds inwards better by taking that smidge off the edges. It's not impeding on the score line there. So we can put all these pieces in now. So I've only got the flowery patterns on the smaller panels. This one down is going in down here. We'll start from the inside, and I've got that to put across the middle. And I'm keeping all of this flat because it's got to be folded inwards, so you don't want, just wipe that gluey set bit off the end. It's a fairly new bottle. Good. And I shall get my silicone mat before I start. I'll just pop up for a sec. My camera's been playing up lately, so I'm Just double checking before I go too far. So just putting glue on the back of this, not a lot of glue. I find I've watched some ladies that come to my classes and they have so much glue on it. It will stick with just a small amount of glue. And then you don't end up with your paper all warping. I find if you put too much glue, it warps everywhere. And this liquid glue is good if you want to wiggle it around a bit and get it straight. So that's that one. Up the top here is the same. So that's, no, not up the top, sorry. This side is the same. Up the top I've just got those two writing panels. I'll take that off. Put some liquid glue on this one. Whoops. That's going to get glued down anyway. A tiny little bit in the middle. And that's on the outside. The paper that I've used, this is one side of the pattern and that's the other. As you can see, that's the back and front of that. So I've used both sides instead of a different paper because the colours went well together. And then up the top here, we've got our mat and our writing panel, which I've just put a tiny little flower on that just to give it a little bit more detail. Move that up and move myself up. I love all the different cutting edges on these dies too. It's not a set of dies that I'll get rid of in a hurry. It's got a little couple of, that's like little slots around. You could even feed something in under that. Very nice dies, and they're all different, every one of them. A little bit across there. And I'm just going to centre that in the middle. I didn't put anything behind it, only because most of it's covered, so I didn't see the point. I could have left it blank, but I wanted somewhere to put a writing panel. And then I'm decorating this down here just with this happy birthday. Instead of putting it on the belly band, it was a bit too big for the belly band. But you can do lots of decoration on your belly band. And this fitted perfectly across the width of this from edge to edge. And I've got the little lines to line it up and get it straight. So that's that part. Now the two pieces that caused me grief before, these are the ones I didn't put mats behind them because I was thinking it was going to make it a bit thick, and I wanted the mats on the front here because that's more of what you see on the front. These will be inside, and this is going to be the flowery pattern. So you could put mats under this. If you do, just put the mats the same size as the DSP, and then you go 1/4 of an inch smaller on two sides for your DSP, and then that'll give you the 1/8 of an inch border all the way around, the same as the others. Well, they'll be exactly the same as these two that are going on the other side. So the measurements for these, if you want a mat, just use the same measurements for this. I love the flowers. I'm assuming they're sunflowers. They look a little bit like sunflowers. That one will go on there. There wasn't this paper doesn't have a direction. It's one of the ones that didn't. So that's that one. It's looking nice already. And then these two, so I've alternated the pattern from one side to the other. So these two are going to go on the outside, and that finishes the inside. Very quick to do. I like to do a little bit of prep beforehand, so the video is not too long for everyone to watch. I know if I watch a video, I watch it to start, and if it's too much stuff that I don't need to know, I scroll through it, and or I can go back later and watch it if I need to. But I very rarely, if if I'm looking for a video in particular, I look at the length of the video first. If it's an hour, more than an hour, or an hour, I sort of bypass it, unless you start and look and think, oh, well, I can scroll through the first 10 minutes because it's not really relevant to the card. So I do prefer short videos, so that's what I do myself. Now you will have a bit of a gap there only because of the bulk underneath. So I'll show you my decoration that's going on here. And as you can see with this one, when you flap that down, the pieces I put here, they're not, I was going to put one in the center, but it would have shown through this gap here and it didn't look very nice. So what I'm doing with this one, I'm going to keep the decorations to one side so you don't end up with seeing it through that gap. I'm just putting 3 of these down one side. I don't think it needs more over the other side. I don't mind it looking like that. And then I've got some leaves, which I'll stick them on first. Just put a little bit of glue on the end. These dies, they're really pretty. They've got a nice detail piece that puts the detail in the die, in the flower when you cut the flower. I'll just show you. Whoops. So it's those two. That's the bigger one, but this is the one I used, and it's got that detail. You cut the two, excuse me. You cut the two together, and it gives you the little slits. I did pull this piece out and cut it, and I thought that's not doing anything. It's just putting slits on my cardstock, and then I realised I have to put the outer piece on as well. So make sure you use the dies properly. I was going to try and find a video, and then it clicked to me that they've got to go together. So we'll put another leaf in here. I'm not putting them in any particular spot because I can rotate them on the... Where did I put my other flower? It's probably inside. There it is. Yeah, so there's a couple of flowers there, and the two dies cut together. I did cut one flower without the slits and then realised that it should have gone together. So I just put the slits, I rotated it around and put the slits on top. So, yeah, it worked out fine. So I'm just going to put these down this edge. I'll just rotate them around a bit so that I've got the leaves in different directions, and I'm putting them flat. It's always nice to have new products. Put that one up there. Just make sure when you do it that it's not going to overhang past that that center fold in piece. I know I'm getting off camera a little bit. Put some glue right to that. I want to keep it flat. Go this way with this one. Here's my mat here, and I'm working off it. That makes sense, Laura. And this one we shall go upwards again. Just close that across, and they're all underneath that flap. There is a smaller flower I could have used, but I like these bigger ones. So that's my inside done. Just make sure you put them on the right panel. And then this will come across here, and we've got these panels under here to do. Let's get rid of those. I did one of the smaller flowers to put on the belly band at the front, along with a little greeting. I hope everyone's enjoying my videos. I know I've had lots of lovely comments. I've got over 5,000 members now, which is lovely. My big group that if you wish to join, if you're not already a member, it's 21,000 something members, 21,000 plus members in there. I'm in there every day looking at people's creations. The group is to share your creations. That's what the whole point of the group is for. Out of those 20,000 odd people or members, I reckon 80% of them don't share anything. I can't make people share, but I would love it if you'd share your creations. So that is that. That's it better. So there's your gap down the middle, but that's what it looks like. You could decorate that side too, but I think it's getting a little bit thick if you do that. Now with your belly band, all we need to do is lay that flat, put that in the center. I always put my join at the front, then it's nice and neat at the back because the front gets covered. Just bring that one across. Actually, I'll flip that over because I can see my cut lines the other way. So we'll put that back in there. Center it as best you can, nice and straight. Bring that over. And this one over. Just give it a little bit of a crease, not much. And don't hold it, don't break it too tight. And then all you do, I'm going to hold that for a sec and just run that up and down like so. Just gives it a little bit of a indent. And then I'm putting a couple of bits of Terran tape wherever I put it here on the ends. One piece will go on the underside, which is there, and one on the upper side of the other side. So when you flap it over and under on each other in the center, you get two pieces of tape that will hold it together. So we'll center that back there. Take the back off that one and the back off this one, and it's doubly secured. Bring this across and don't pull it too tight. Just sort of let it work itself without being too tight. Doesn't matter if it's a little bit loose. I'd rather it loose than too tight. And then that will move up and down. Then your mat is there with the DSP on top, and that you will actually, I'm going to trim that a little bit because I didn't get it really straight. So before I stick that on, I'm just going to trim a fraction off that, like so. It was just not quite straight. Then we can put that back on. Some people put the mat or the DSP all the way around. I don't like it like that. I like it just on the front, and then the back is nice and plain. It tones in with the colour of your base. And then that will go across there with some glue, liquid glue, crafter's best friend. And then that will go on top of that. It's got the little 1/8 inch border down the sides. And then I've got this. I'm going to layer this up with dimensionals, which I did get some out, but they're buried under all my bits of paper. Just put 4 on the back of that. Actually, I was going to put them on here. We'll work that so it's, move that one. That should be fine. I'll move them to the center where I normally put them on the band itself, so I know they're going to end up and not hanging over up here or down here, so they're fine. Just when you want the backs to come off in a hurry, they don't. That one's stubborn, it doesn't want to go. Once you've pulled it up once and it goes back on itself, it doesn't want to come up again. That one and that one. And the beauty of doing a circle, you can't go wrong with your greeting. Wherever you stamp your greeting, it's going to be straight because it's a circle. Little tip for beginners if you're trying to learn how to keep your, I'm going to put this one up here, just up the, can't remember where I was putting it. I might put it up the top, just a little bit of glue on one end. Yes, keeping your dies, keeping your wording straight. Sometimes when you do a rectangle or a square, it's really hard to line it up. So try doing it on a circle. It can't go wrong. And I have got some embellishments to put on as well. These are, they're online, gold and petal pink low profile dots. And I'm going to use some gold ones because I don't think the pink would look quite right on that. And I'll just use some of these bigger ones. I'm going to put one in there and a couple around the greeting. Three on the front. Actually, I'm going to put, I'm not sure if these are retiring or not. I'll put a couple out the side here. You never know with the online stuff when it's going to not be available anymore. And that is my card all done for today. I hope you like that. I'll just open them both up. I'm not sure which one's your favourite. I don't mind the green, although I'm not normally a green person. I do like this one, and I'm sad that this paper is going now because I really like that paper. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed that, and I shall see you all again next Monday morning at 9 AM. Bye for now. See ya.